Northeast Ohio is the 12th largest economic region in the nation and is home to more than 109,000 companies. While our economy is growing, it's doing so modestly compared to the rest of the country. Let's talk about how we can best position Northeast Ohio for economic growth. Jack, in many ways, Juergens is a model for regional collaboration. For example, Juergens works with diverse partners, including other manufacturers, trade associations, nonprofits, and local government. Can you describe the importance of strategic partnerships and some of the ways that Northeast Ohio-based global businesses can thrive under the current federal administration or through private sector partnerships?
Well, this is going to go as a shock, but this is going to be around manufacturing. We've got so many great assets, and the medical community has their links and partnerships. The hospitality, I think, is an area where I believe that you follow what's going on in Tri-C and what they're doing with their hospitality schools has got the ability to do that. We in manufacturing are doing the same thing, where we're partnering around subjects that were like Magnet, that was started here in Cleveland as a regional solution. You've got WireNet, you've got Chamber, you've got all of these parties coming together. What can we do to do a better job? I think that one of the things that we can do is we can recognize these three great leading functions for job creation. Hospitality, medical, and manufacturing are our three big drivers. And each one can link and cooperate and coordinate with each one. We just need, the medical community, I think, tells the world that we are one of the leaders, if not the leader, in that. We have 4 hospitals, by the way. I'd like to make what's that? The leader, yes, correct. And we have a 4th hospital, which is the VA hospital here, right up the street. And so we've got those dominant things going on. In the manufacturing, we've got a lot of things that are happening, and there's no question that we, in that side of the sector, believe that we are ready to take this back and claim ownership to it. I think that you're seeing that from the positive aspects of what the administration is talking about, and there's a group of us here in town that really are trying to orchestrate it. First, around talent is one of the key components of it. The other is cooperation and coordination out there because we have all the components to be the manufacturing, medical, manufacturing, and hospitality center, I believe, in the United States.
Dr. Zion, in your opinion, what are some of the correlations between global cities and successful cities? And what are some of the benefits to our city and to the clinic with increased internationalization?
I'm going to start by making a comment about what you said, because what you just said is something I truly and deeply believe in, and I have talked to many of the people in this room over time about the idea that I do feel that there are so many centers of strength within the city: manufacturing, medical care, hospitality, and a number of non-profits that are doing amazing work when it comes, just like Global Cleveland is doing today. What I think is lacking, or maybe it's my lack of knowledge of it, but it appears to be a city-wide strategy that would make the city attractive, that this would include manufacturing and healthcare and hospitality, provide some medical packages for companies to make it more attractive for them to come here, provide hospitality services in which would make their ability to conduct business, but do it in one city-wide strategy that is comprehensive, that you can go and sell it to the outside world, as opposed to us keep running with our medical stuff and you do your manufacturing or legal, whatever, but there should be, I think, a city-wide strategy. So that comment lead up to your question, that is, what is a global city or international city and so on. And this is a term actually was introduced back in the 1990s. That is, what is a global city? And there are many different definitions of what is a global city. And it's the classic global city would be New York and San Francisco, Tokyo in some accounts. And there are a number of studies that look into a link between what is a global city, which is defined by mostly diversity of the population that live in it or visit that city. So the greater the diversity, the more global that city is. And there is a direct link between a global city and economic prosperity of those cities. And I will give a very old example, but also some newer example. The most striking old example would be the city of Bath in England. And I use it in some of my lectures, so if anybody attended one of mine before, so when I speak about international medicine. So city of Bath is about 100 kilometers from London. Back in the 1700s, it became an international medical tourism hub. And that's based on what's published today, attributed to the prosperity of that city. It became the first city to see lights before London, the city that had sewer system when London didn't have it, the city in which attracted a lot of international travelers for healthcare. So there is a link between a global city and economic prosperity that's been done. And I think, again, whichever way you want to define a global city, but I do think it is a mainstay. I printed one statement from actually a paper published in, I think, New York Times or somewhere, that basically saying the global city is basically the ability to embrace international multicultural and polyethnic features. And the article goes on to show data how this actually can lead to significant economic prosperity. So all in all, I think we are somewhat of a global city, but we have long ways to be a prominent global city and to actually exploit this global international presence to our economic advantage.
And what I'm hearing you saying is we need to break down the silos that exist between industries and work together in order for that to happen. Is that correct?
Absolutely, and this actually platform is a perfect platform to start doing that. So thank you for this.
Well, I want to continue with that thread. Peter, you've lived and worked all over the world, Budapest, Shanghai, Bangkok, Bali, to name a few. From what you've experienced, what are some of the aspects that make for a successful city or region?
Successful regions, successful cities, places I've lived, I probably have to say walk a mile in my shoes. It's usually the best way to describe it to somebody. It's how I feel, right? When I go to that city, do I feel safe, right? Do I feel welcomed? You know, I've traveled to many countries where English is not the spoken language, you know, and do people push me aside when I try to speak English, or I try a couple of words in their language and it comes out wrong and I offend them? Will they walk away, or do they really try and help me? You know, are signs in different languages? If I go to a museum, or I try to get on public transport is the public transport good? But if I do try to get on the public transport and it is good, do I know where to get off? Is there a sign in English? Are we catering to multi languages? And then wow factors, right? Every city that I've been to, every country I've visited, I probably picked to go to that place to visit it because of some wow factors. Now, what are the wow factors? There's plenty of them in Cleveland. When I was deciding to move here, and I literally, about 1 year ago, 2 days ago, I got the call saying, would you go to Cleveland? And I went home and I said to my wife, Cleveland. And she kind of looked at me. One night closed. This was 11 o'clock at night. And I said, where is it? Right? And I said, I knew it was Midwest, but I didn't know exactly Midwest. She said, it's on the other lake. She's from Chicago. And so, basically, this is the truth. We were sitting in Shanghai. It was 11 o'clock at night. I just walked in the door. Intercontinental called me and said, Cleveland. And I said, it's okay, I'll tell them no tomorrow. And I went to sleep. And I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and my wife is still sitting up, looking at her iPad. And she said, tell them, yes. But it took her 7 or 8 hours to find enough information about this city, right? You can go on to other cities' websites and find out so much more. So, you know, another thing that I think a good city that you're going to live in, that you want to go to, that you want to visit, should have great marketing, right? And I don't hear or see enough about Cleveland. And as you said, you know, I'm looking at it from a tourism standpoint because that's what fills my rooms. But it's, you know, I do think that it's very segregated and we could really pull it all together because it's an amazing city.
Well, let me ask you, what do you consider some of the wow factors for Northeast Ohio?
Well, after coming from China, metro parks. I love to cycle, and I discovered the towpath the other day, which is absolutely fantastic because I'm getting ready for Melisano, if it doesn't kill me. You know, you've got so many great things downtown. You've got the Rock Hall of Fame, you've obviously got the sports teams, the symphony, the art galleries, the food scene, the food culture. You know, you've got neighbourhoods, Little Italy, Tremont, Westside Market. Westside Market is absolutely spectacular, right? And there's all these things, and you have to sort of really sort of pull them out. But it's a fantastic. It's a very big small city, right? And I think that could be slogan. I know Vegas I think has it, or somebody else, Reno, but it really is a big small city. It has everything you would want in a city. It's just not well organized to sort of package it so you know where it is.
We have two final questions, and then I want to open it up to the audience for your questions. So start thinking.
I forgot to tell you, it's got an amazing hotel as well. Just a little plug.
That's fine. Michelle, like Peter, you've also lived and worked internationally, specifically as a Foreign Service Officer for the State Department. And you worked in Squire Patton Boggs' global corporate practice. From that vantage point, what are some of the unique characteristics of the Cleveland market that position it for accelerated growth?
So my Cleveland story isn't quite like that. My husband is actually from here, and I think you'll find, in many instances, someone's got sort of a hook. We actually had 10 summer associates start with us at the firm yesterday from all across the nation, and they'll spend 8 weeks with us. So we spend a good bit of time devising the wiles of Cleveland and what to connect them with over this time frame. And we, like the clinic, like the hotels, from the tourism perspective, this is something we create. And so I just want to set second and third this point that from the city perspective, the branding and the marketing of the city and the accessibility. And I think tourism is a great place to start because any favorable impression, even temporary, of the city moves us along the line of being considered for future place of employment, a future visit, and et cetera. So my experience from being a managing partner at the firm and recruiting into Cleveland and getting that talent base into the Cleveland market that we can leverage across the firm really is about getting, in my experience, the folks to Cleveland in the first instance. If you can get the hook here and get them here for whatever reason, and sometimes you need to be creative, we show very well, we are extremely welcoming, we are very friendly. And you know, if you take them around to the neighborhoods, the downtown areas, the suburbs in which some of us live, the lack of traffic, the accessibility to the lake, these are all things that folks, particularly who may be relocating from the larger markets, understand the value of. And so often for the just out of law school crowd, the downtown scene is what they want to see, but those relocating from New York, Chicago, LA after 5 years of practice really are looking at, can they buy a house? Can they get to work without sitting in traffic for 45 minutes? And these are all things that we have grown accustomed to over time, but really are selling points. And I think getting that message out effectively is crucial. Excuse me. And then I think the accelerator for us is really focusing on that diversity. We are not as diverse as we need to be. It will take time and efforts of all of these organizations, but we have these centers of excellence in the clinic and in manufacturing and in hospitality and in biomedical that really can get the folks to the city. And then I think marrying up those resources with the city really will get that traction and move us forward in a material way.
In a similar context, Biomotive, furthering the work of creating bio-innovation in our region, is a for-profit entity. How can companies and for-profit partners play a role in Global Cleveland's efforts to grow our international population and regional economy?
So, before I jump to that question, I just want to add on to what was just said. I think the other thing that we undersell is the people factor in Cleveland. Because as we're thinking about moving individuals from other cities into Cleveland, I concur with everything that Peter and Michelle said in terms of what the attributes are, what some of the attractive features are of the city. But a lot of our individuals are wondering, will they feel comfortable here? Will they feel energized here? So there's a little bit of it is around the comfort and the convenience factors of living in a city like Cleveland. But a lot of it is around, will I be around people that I can be excited to be around? Whether they're my neighbors, my colleagues, my future colleagues, if I'm looking for a career path in So back to your question then, Elizabeth, in terms of what can private employers do with global Cleveland to make us a more international city? There's a couple of different things I think that are important there. I agree on the marketing, and I think all of us as employers can help the city in marketing and positioning the city as a place for employment, a place for one to develop a career, a place that's exciting to be in and live in, both professionally as well as personally. I think there's an aspect of employers needing to be involved with global Cleveland on policy issues, because we talked a little bit on this panel, but certainly in the earlier speakers, about some of the barriers that we face at a federal level that are things that we need to advocate for and be engaged as private sector advocates for policies that will promote internationalization generally, will also benefit Cleveland. And then I think the third thing is, to the extent that there are gaps in our city, and for those of us that have done business elsewhere or that have lived elsewhere, you can see that there may be gaps in how the city is not welcoming of in sort of a kind of a feeling sense, but sort of other attributes in terms of gaps in services that immigrants in particular or international students would naturally find available in a Boston, for example. If there are those gaps, we should make the city writ large aware of it, because I think one of the unique factors of our city is it's quite easy if you highlight a problem to get the philanthropic community and the public sector and the private sector working together to make changes in fill those gaps.